How are we doing, folks? Circling up from the mosh pit, Callie is back with a new original song, and from the art style I was seeing in the short little snippet that we have here right at the beginning, it's a lot different than the last song that she dropped, so I'm so curious to see where we're going with this. But yeah, new Callie, you love to see it. Let's jump into it.
I ain't trying to stress you, I must confess, though my heart's beating to your song. Oh yeah! Think I hurry up, obvious time's a wasting. Show me what you really wanna do. Another late night, aimless dreaming, the diddle starts to call. Still got like a million deadlines, still bleeding red, while my back up against the wall.
Nice. So there's something so unique to this sort of style of, for lack of a better term, because I'm not a jazz artist at all. I, am more in the, the rock and rap type scene. Nu metal's probably the closest I'd ever get to a merging of those two, but those are the two areas that I'm more, knowledgeable in. With music, but like the whole da 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 da, like she does that a lot with her music, and it's so fascinating to me because I don't hear very many artists really have that swing style, at least nowadays. I know it was prevalent back when, and especially in jazz circles, I'd assume there's a lot of that. But I'm just kind of sitting here like, man, it's just so cool to hear that. But yeah, so she's got someone in her life that is really inspiring her with her music, which is cool. I feel like immediately that makes me think of End of a Life, which I think back on that review and realize, it's not on this channel, but I was not processing the bigger point of her song back then, but obviously I do now, and I think it's one of the best songs she ever put out. So raw and real about her life. So the idea that she's kind of pointing out, hey, there was someone to inspire me, and I've kind of obsessed over someone, to get to where I'm at. I think that's super cool. That's cool.
Another late night, aimless dreaming, the diddle starts to call. Still got like a million deadlines, still bleeding red wine.
Okay, yeah, so still got a million deadlines, still bleeding red wine. And I'll just say, too, it sounded like she kind of did a slant rhyme with bleeding. Bleeding red wine, million deadlines. The inner rhyme schemes are crazy from her.
Back up against the wall. I got my headphones on, walk home is long, dragging feet like I'm born to lose. Still
yeah, headphones on, walk home is long. More inner rhyme schemes.
Somehow the tapping along, do you know whose song, a melody I can't refuse.
So that's an interesting idea that she's saying to whose song. So that makes me think one of two things. Obviously, when we talk about who on the internet, it's kind of like, oh, hush, hush. I don't know why I put my finger up to my lips. You can't see that. But the point being is, it's from a place of secrecy. But I also wonder, as someone who really hasn't watched Callie too religiously over the last couple of years, I wonder if she's ever... if she's actually put out sort of an Easter egg on that, or if she's just saying, whose song. I mean, the song's about Orpheus, and you can see in the video we're talking about Orpheus. So you know who this song is by. Let me know in the comments.
Still somehow the tapping along, do you know whose song, a melody I can't refuse. I'm not alone, it's fine, you know my name. Safe inside my mind, don't feel the shame, okay. I know I get a little carried away, but we got music when there aren't any words to say.
Hey.
Now I'm in distress, you got me possessed, I might be obsessed, so let me get a little something off my chest. Look, I ain't trying to stress you, I must confess, though my heart's beating to your song. Oh yeah! Think I hurry up, obvious time's a wasting. Show me what you really wanna do. So
nice. Hey. Okay, so now tonight's the time that I'll show you how obvious I can be. I can show you this is what I care about. There was something she was saying earlier, which I find so interesting for someone of her caliber in music, especially. I mean, she's coming off with this apology. I'm in distress. You got me possessed. I might be obsessed. I mean, we all get that way, especially if you're an aspiring artist. You have those people in your life who you are just, if you saw them in real life, you'd go crazy. Of course you would, because they are your inspiration for your whole creative vision. And for the commentators on YouTube who know nothing about artistic expression, but they sure know how to criticize people like Callie, try thinking about someone who you actually look up to in life. Any sort of ambition, even if you've never had ambition before, think about that ambition and the person who inspired you to do it, and then you see them in person. Don't you sit there and tell me that you're just going to be Mr. Normal and just be like, oh yeah, hello, how's it going? No, you'd be like, dude, you've meant so much to me. So something she was saying earlier though is like, yeah, I'm out of line, but it's fine. You don't know my name. So she's feeling like she has to apologize preemptively with like, yeah, you don't even know me and I'm just kind of going crazy over you. Like, that's such an interesting perspective. I feel like that does kind of run perpendicular with how she's been as a person for this whole time. She does have some embarrassment about her passion, which is just so crazy to me because, and I say this as someone who, I mean, obviously I'm not in her shoes. I wouldn't know what it feels like to, you know, feel exactly the way as she is. But I'd feel like if your passion and your interest in music has gotten you this far, there should be a point where you can let it all down and be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to be ashamed of any of it anymore. I'm going to be myself. And that's just how it is, you know? But again, I'm not her. I don't know all the internal stuff, but yeah.
Tonight is my turn to show you how obvious I can be. Sometimes it feels like you're playing a guitar for me and only me.
Hey.
So predictable, they can see what I can see. But I wind up a star. Got me so bizarre. This just got me feeling fonder. I wonder if it's enough. 'Cause I'm not there when I've been playing. You're all that I've been thinking of. Maybe they'll call me delusional, baby. This could be real love. Give me one chance and I'll take. You make me dance the night away. Now it's a game that I play.
No, okay, so we throw in the guh, and I liked the little thing of the YouTube videos there, very on the nose with like how you're connecting with the artist, you're watching them on YouTube, and then also where you are as an artist, you're presenting yourself on YouTube. You know, I know for whatever reason, guys like Fantano and people like that on YouTube keep acting like when you talk about critics and how you don't agree with what they're saying, well, then that's a sign of weakness. And being like, oh, well, I'm just a guy on the internet. I've heard people say that. And it's like, no, you're a moron. Like, you're not paying attention to how your words can affect other people. Even if you undervalue what you're talking about, other people do value it a lot. And you being tone deaf to that is not a sign of competence. And yeah, it is predictable, but when people say hurtful things and misalign their audience with the facts about who you are as an artist, that's not something to be proud of. That's something to be aware of and be like, oh, okay, I'm, you know, it is predictable, but it still happens. It's still annoying. So.
Before, but with the way the scene changed, there is nothing you can blame me for. I'm talking TV screens, magazines, seen you in a couple dreams, pictures up on every padded wall and floor. You're always
Hey.
talking about no time to desire a lover, so why'd you paint your nails up in my favorite color? I got an attitude, just when it comes to you. So yeah, reality is kind of slipping out of tune. I've never lost.
Okay, hold up. So, first of all, ORPHEUS. Let's just see if there's something that... Okay, so Orpheus means the darkness of the night, or a fatherless orphan, referring to the legendary Greek musician and poet, son of Apollo, and what? Literally, okay, so it is the AI overview here, but it literally says it refers to the legendary Greek musician and poet, son of Apollo, and the muse Calliope. Are you freaking kidding me? What? That's crazy. So it's linked to the Greek words for darkness and fatherless. Also best voice, highlighting his incredible musical talent. Okay, so gifted musician, descent into the underworld after his wife Ulysses died from a snake bite. Orpheus descended to the land of the dead. Yo, okay, I really should have figured that out before checking this out, I suppose. But so we get a lot of comparisons here to mythology and something related to, you know, her caricature. But I think that's just interesting too, that we have this sort of love story going on where it's like, okay, well, you say that you don't really think about me, but you have your nails painted the same color as mine. It immediately made me think of, I forgot what the term was called, but it's for those people who they feel like they have a special connection with an artist who truly doesn't know them. And I remembered watching someone say something like, oh, well, when this DJ plays this song on the radio, I know that he's talking to me because he'll say, this one's for you. And I know that that's his special way of letting me know that it's actually for me. But of course, if you think about it, it's like, well, the fact they don't know you, you're splitting hairs about what they're saying to thinking that they have a connection. Anyway, I'm so curious to see where we're going with this. I'm sorry for rambling, but this is very interesting. I enjoy this.
Now it's a game that I played before, but with the way the scene changed, there is nothing you can blame me for.
Okay, so now this is a game that I've played before, but based on how the scene has changed, there's nothing you can blame me for. So things were different when she started out. Maybe she did kind of have an interest in an artist, looking to someone for inspiration, and then maybe they just fell off, or they ended up not being who she expected. Let me know in the comments if you know.
I'm talking TV screens, magazines, seen you in a couple dreams, pictures up on every padded wall and floor. You're always talking about no time to desire a lover, so why'd you paint your nails up in my favorite color? I got an attitude, just when it comes to you. So yeah, reality is kind of slipping out of tune. I never lost in the groove, somebody new. If it's devotion, you have to stay true. So why you noticing me, noticing you, noticing me? No disillusion, but there's not a lot of guarantee. Cause in my heart feels spark when you look this way. Give me a sign from the
Oh, she's in a paper boat. No. Tell me that's not. Type right now that it's not. Tell me that right now that is not exactly what that is. Come on, man. Dude. Anyway, side note, her kind of struggling to feel like, hey, well, just in case you think that my heart isn't going to be true, it is. I'm not going to fall out of disillusion here. I'm going to be delusional for you only. That's interesting. Ooh, okay. This is dope. I love this kind of thing. You can argue what you want about her writing. I'm just going to cue you in on something real quick, buddy. You don't understand rap. If you're honestly going to sit here and think that she has anything less than incredible talent, you're strumming next to me that I'm in ecstasy, and for the rest of the week, I'm depression-free. Dude, that's top-tier lyricism. You cannot argue with me about that. That is literally what the focal point of a lot of rap was built upon. And this is the creme de la creme of it. So, y'all can take that criticism and shove it.
I'm depression free. I ain't trying to stress you, I must confess, though my heart's beating to your song. Oh yeah. Think I hurry up, ORPHEUS, time's a wasting. Show me what you really wanna do. Tonight it's my turn to show you how obvious I can be. So just as long as you keep playing that guitar. Critics so loud, so predictable, they can see what I can see.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
So let's blow this joint and if the feeling's right, and we can make a little music of our own tonight. Come on.
Interesting.
Why you walking away? I got a lot to say. Guess I'll save it for the next one. Woo! I ain't trying to stress you, I must confess, though my heart's beating to our song. Oh yeah. So hear me out, ORPHEUS, thinking next time I'll show you what I really wanna do.
Hold on.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. My heart's. I thought it said our song there at
So
the
hear
end.
me out, ORPHEUS, thinking next time I'll show you what I really wanna do.
Interesting. So aside, obviously, if this really is sort of a confessional for an artist that she likes, or if she's just, I liked how in the end she takes the guitar and then she's just strumming away, going crazy. She's like, whatever. In this moment, I'm putting myself out there 100%. I love that. Tell me in the comments if you are an artist or if you're someone who, has a fascination for a particular artist, which artist would you go crazy about in the comments if they walked up to you and were like, hey, let me know in the comments. Obviously, link to this is going to be in the description. Support Mori for this. And that's all I got to say. Thanks for watching.